Oh my gosh, you're never gonna believe it. Right here is the Amazon buy box. I want to know how we can catch this buy box. Ah, it's going. We gotta catch the buy box. Ah, we're trying to catch the buy box. We can't get it. We caught the buy box. All right, we got the buy box and we're gonna sell this item probably now. But how in the hell do you get in the buy box and stay there without all this work? Hey, what is up? This is Shane, the Resin Grind Picker, and today we're gonna talk about something kind of cool, kind of weird, and kind of something that most people don't know about. What we're gonna talk about is the Amazon buy box, how you can get it, how you can keep it, some tips and tricks that I have to maybe maintain the buy box, take the buy box. What the hell is the buy box? Because let's face it, no one really knows. People have these ideas of what they think the buy box is. People also have these theories of why people get the buy box the way they do. I have a couple of those theories I'll kind of put in this video, but I'm gonna be really honest. The buy box is not really all it's cracked up to be, and a lot of those theories are probably false. So stay tuned and we're gonna dive in. Okay, so let's get this straight, all right? You hear a lot of YouTubers, especially a lot of new YouTubers, talking about, oh, get the buy box, I have these hacks. I have this that you can do. Guess what? There is no hacks. There is no, this is what you can do. There's some certain things that you can look and control. There's a lot of things that you can't, because why? Amazon chooses who gets the buy box. Now, there's other things that you can use to kind of maintain the buy box or whatever. But what I'm saying, what I'm getting at is, no one really knows how to get the buy box. The buy box is like a freaking ferry or a troll under a bridge. And it just appears and no one really knows why they get it. And I'll be honest with you, no one knows. They might say, but they don't. And there's a few things. Now, what I can tell you is this. A repricer is important, and I'm going to explain that in just a little bit. But a repricer, making sure your item is priced for the buy box. So that's the second tip. Now, what I'm going to tell you is, I'm going to explain the repricer here in a little bit. I'm going to say this is because not a lot of people use repricers. So number 2 is making sure your item is actually priced correctly. A lot of people that price by hand, they'll put a price in, and 10 minutes later the price has changed and they don't know it. Therefore, they're not selling anything, and they're sitting right above the buy box, and they don't really know what's going on. Now, here's the third thing. What the hell is the buy box? We're gonna go over this. All right, so what is the buy box on Amazon? I'm about ready to show you this. Now, if you go over to not the seller app, but the buying app, and you click on the buying app, it's going to log you in. It's going to say, hey, Shane, or hey, whatever your name is, blah, 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 blah. Now, the one thing is, what are you looking for? So you can put an item that you're looking for. Now, let's go Canon M50. This is what I'm recording this video on, by the way. Let's go Canon M50 Speed Booster. Now, you're going to see that there is a speed booster that comes up. And when you click on it, it says Amazon's choice, blah, blah, blah. Now, when it says buy now or add to cart right here, that is the buy box. Now, you can also look at other sellers, used and new, 2 of them in the same listing. Now, when people buy from the buy box, typically what they do is you have a book, or you have a tape measure, or a fishing lure, or a roll of tape, or a set of towels, and they find them on the selling app. And what they do is they just go there and they hit buy now, and that is the buy box, and it buys from what's called the buy box. Now, when you go to the seller app, you click on an item, it will say the price is this, and it'll say your price, and then it'll show you buy box price, and it'll give you the buy box price right there on the seller app. And that is per se being in the buy box, or buy box, whatever, you're in it. The price is in it. But just because you're in the buy box doesn't mean you have the buy box. That is the most, I think, the most thing people confuse is they said, well, I'm in the buy box. Doesn't mean you have the buy box. Now, what I mean by saying that you have the buy box, like I smashed the box out there in my yard and actually put an item in it, kind of emulating a pun towards getting the buy box, is your item is, boom, you're in the buy box, and the next item to hit buy it now, or the next person to hit buy it now, will buy it from you. That is what it is about. You have got the buy box. You're holding the buy box. Just because you're in the buy box price does not mean that you are going to sell that item. Now, there's a lot of repricers out there that have buy box algorithms, and it tries to help you get the buy box and maintain the buy box. And that's super helpful. So if you're not using a repricer, I would highly look into it. It's probably going to be a good idea. And also, make sure your price is in the buy box. Like, a lot of people will price by hand and they don't even know that they're out of the buy box until a week later, and the price is tanked, and they're like, why didn't I sell it? Well, it's because your price didn't match the buy box, and most people aren't going to buy. Like, most people aren't just going to go and say used other offers and buy it from whoever. They just don't. Why? Is because about, I would say, roughly 70 to 80% of what Amazon sells is through the buy box. It is not through any other terms. The customer goes to the app and they hit buy it now. I've done this. You've done this. Everybody has done this, and they know that they do that. And that's customer kind of, that's how they act, right? So that's why you want to be sure that you're in that buy box. That's why it's so important to be in there, so you can sell your item. So here's one thing you want to be sure of. Don't be a doofus and say, I think my sales are amazing, I'm definitely going to get the buy box over everyone. That's shit. It's not going to happen. Amazon chooses who gets the buy box. That's the thing. Now, I have a theory. I have a couple theories on buy box, how you get it, whatever. And one of my theories is that the seller that holds the most volume or holds the most product gets the buy box. And I have really thought that that's been the case on some things, because I've had like a really high quantity of things, like the light bulbs I sold. I had 200 and like, I think 20 packages or 215 packages of them. And I pretty much owned the buy box the entire time I had them. And I was selling about 20 to 25 a week. And I had I had known someone through YouTube that was on that listing, and they're like, man, that's crazy. Every time I tried to like change my price, you took the buy box right back. Like, my repricer fought for me to get the buy box. Now, that is one thing that very well could be a theory, is maybe the most stock you have. But why I say that no one really knows is Amazon's not going to come right out and say, here is how you get the buy box, because Amazon sells on their own platform. And they're not going to say, we're going to buy all this stuff for you to beat us at the buy box. So they're not going to tell you how to get it. They're not going to do that. And there's a lot of YouTubers out there that they say, oh, we have the idea. We have the secret. We have the hack. There really is no hack. There's a few things that you can do to help like really maximize your chance, but there's no hack to get it. There really isn't. Now, a couple repricers out there like Channel Max and some other ones, what they do is they will actually take your price and they will match the buy box. They will reprice 2 or 3 cents and under, go back up and try to get it, and then 2 or 3 cents up above the price, and try to have the buy box follow them up to pull the price up. Now, that's one way some of the repricers work and how they work to try to gain you the buy box. But other than that, like, there really isn't a whole lot. I mean, if you're going to go deep on something and you know it's going to sell amazing, like if this was a crazy rank and it was like $1 at Walmart, I would buy every one of them I could, because the more stock I have, the more money I'm going to make, obviously. But then also, you got to understand, the more stock you have, the more chance that you're going to sell in the buy box. Because as long as Amazon's not in on it. Now, the one thing that changes things a little bit is when you sell on a listing that Amazon is selling on. If you look, Amazon pretty much has the buy box the whole time. You can undercut them by $5. They're still going to have the freaking buy box. Now, there has been some instances where I think Amazon has given me the buy box, but that's why I really don't like to compete on listings Amazon's in on. Now, I will buy a bunch of stuff and I will match them because I know for a fact that if I match the price, I will get the buy box a certain times, few times of the day and sell a couple items, and then the buy box is going to go right back to them. And they're going to start selling more, but I will sell a couple items here and there because they let me have it. Because for the most part, they're going to let me have it, you know, at least a couple times. Because they're going to have me sell a couple items so I can get off that item and sell it all. So they can really maximize their profits. And that's one thing that you have to understand is the buy box really isn't all that black and white. Like, it's a very gray area on how to actually overcome it and get it and whatever else. I mean, I really think all you do as an Amazon seller is time to maximize your chance of getting it by getting great tools that you use, or, you know, repricer, like a repricer is a tool. Repricers, tools, read some articles about the buy box, maybe even do some crazy thing where like maybe your repricer adjusts a couple cents below it, and then manually change it in your repricer to see if it'll go a couple above it. And then you can also manually change your repricer to do a few other things like undercut the listing $1 and or uppercut or overcut the listing $1. And there's a chance that the buy box may follow you. You can do a few things like that. I've had that happen where I literally undercut it like by 25 cents and the buy box followed me right down. And if that happens, that's amazing, because then you're undercutting very low and you have the buy box. You're going to sell a lot more. In other ways, I've also read some articles on Amazon where they say that the buy box is also given to really good sellers over other ones. So make sure your seller account is in good standing. Make sure that you have basically no marks on your account. Follow the rules. Follow the rules. Follow the rules. And make sure that you are doing everything you need to do for your business, for your account, for everything else. Now, basically, I made this video because there's a lot of people that don't know what the buy box is. There's a lot of people that listen to other YouTubers and they say, oh my God, that's great, I'm going to try it. And when in doubt, they're just dead wrong. Like, there is no way to 100% tell how to get the buy box. There's not. Now, there is a buy box algorithm which repricers will follow, and some repricers will, some won't. But what I want to tell you is that there's no definite answer. Amazon is the only person or only company or only whatever. Jeff Bezos is the only person that knows the buy box algorithm. No one else does. So once again, I appreciate you. Thanks for watching this video, and I will see you on the next video. Make that money!